Nashua, New Hampshire, everybody, and Stellos Stadium here in the city of Nashua, Mata Field. My name is Rich McDonough for Nashua ETV's presentation of Division I Boys Lacrosse. Got a late start, little technical difficulties, in addition to a mile-long backup on Route 111. Great to be with you. Out of the gate, the highly rated and #1 ranked Bishop Guertin Cardinals got the opening face-off. Took a good possession and scored within a minute and 10 seconds. And they just add to that one on a good bomb and bullet by McGarry. It is already 2-0 and 10:42 on the clock. They haven't stopped the clock for some reason, and we'll see why. Now they do. It says officially 10:41. So McGarry gets himself a goal early on in the contest, and it's 2-0. Three-time defending champ Bishop Guertin comes in with a 4-2 record, fresh off a Friday win at Exeter, a game I saw and called. And again, they are three-time defending champs. They haven't lost an in-state game, folks, since 2019. That was the Division I final. They lost to Pinkerton in that game, 12-11. And it has been clear sailing for Bishop Guertin in-state ever since. For its part, Nashua South is having a rough year so far. They come in at 1-7, last in D1. And their sole win came against Division II Keene Monadnock, and that was 9-4. They had 8 key returners, and 7 of those key returners are not seniors. So they have only one senior, very important one to them, number 18, Severin Johnson, who's a Tiffin College commit. This one on the BG offense, that one sails over the head of sophomore Owen King. It is a very talented sophomore class for Coach Chris Cameron. He has been around since 2004, has 12 titles under his belt with a very talented coaching staff that includes Luke Solms and his own son, Brian Cameron, who did coaching duties out at Holy Cross this year and gets to rejoin his dad on the sidelines for the green and gold. BG wearing white with the green shorts is at home, and the Panthers in purple and white shorts today. They both share the same field, so it's a semantics matter here. Bishop Guertin is the home team, even though they all know the home turf. 9:24 in counting. Rich McDonough again with you. Glad to be with you. Been together a lot earlier on. Will Murphy makes that save off a pretty good shot there by Broden Landsteiner. He's one of those returning juniors. He's a midfielder and is a good player. Will Murphy in the cage for the Cardinals, and he is bound for D1 Bryant. I've gotten a chance to coach him over the years, and he is an outstanding goalie, has the whole package. Lightning, quick reactions, good field general. Scrappy kid, was also a wrestling champ, D2 wrestling champ for Bishop Guertin. And he's going to help the Bryant Bulldogs quite a bit. Bryant went into the weekend in its conference with the last game in its conference, and they got bounced with an unfortunate loss to Merrimack. As we were talking, though, the great lefty headed to Villanova, the number 6, that's Brady Dumont. He's a senior, one of the Dumont twins, and he rips one in after gripping it and goes left. And that one beats and makes it through the 5-hole, and at 8:35, it's already 3-0. So South normally has a very strong physical team. In the wake of, they have Coach Will Delanois in his second season. Still thinking about Bill Monson, who was a longtime coach and a great presence for Nashua South for so many years. He died, unfortunately, a couple years ago, going on a couple years, and just one of those guys with the ubiquitous character, good to so many people, and a great leader. Wow! There is a big cannon by Caleb Young. Tomahawks 24 purple, and he's headed to D1 Stony Brook. He drove the near pipe, shot the far with that big left windup, and that finds the back of the net. 8:07 on the clock in the first, and it's 4-0 already. Graduating class this year for Bishop Guertin is getting better. I know coaches around there don't like to hear that, but they are getting better. Why? Because you had 10 seniors who left to graduation last year. 8 are playing in college, and those are a lot of seniors to lean on. So even if you're a great player yourself as a junior, sophomore, even freshman on this Bishop Guertin team that reloads every year with plenty of talent, you have a chemistry that revolves around a lot of talented seniors, and when they move on, you have to redevelop your own chemistry, and they are finding their own rhythm. They were nip and tuck with Exeter the other day. That was Friday out at the Seacoast, and they were down a couple times, built a lead back. It was kind of a punch-counter-punch scenario, and then they flexed their muscle in the third and pushed it out and won it in a good game. And consequently, they once again hold the #1 poll in the NH Coach and Media poll. I'm on that poll, and they're earning it. They had a real rough and tumble game here at Stellos last week, midweek, against the visiting Bedford Bulldogs, and that went into double overtime. And Caleb Young, who had scored just a while ago, #7, the Stony Brook commit, won it on a wing dodge and a big lefty cannon to take that one out of the night air and take the air out of the Bulldogs. But that was an instant classic, folks, and it showed the Bedford Bulldogs under Coach Andrew Bordeaux are here and are for real. This senior class for Bishop Guertin is quite deep. It has 8 commits already, a bunch of D1 fellas, and then Micah Dunsmore is going to D3 RPI, which is ranked as high as #2 in this year's media poll, Inside Lacrosse poll, and USILA poll. And that's a heck of a team. They took it on the chin to Amherst out of the NESCAC. I've covered a lot of NESCAC lacrosse for the Northeast Sports Network. And that's a talented team. They just got to figure out which team's going to show up. And they certainly showed up against RPI and took care of business. Subbing in for the excellent face-off guy, Paolo Vasquez. We're getting into our bench here for BG, and that's a good thing. You want to get deeper and deeper and deeper as the season goes along. Vasquez wears #25 for the Cardinals. He's going to UMBC. That would be Maryland-Baltimore County Retrievers for an old Maryland fella like myself. All right, we are at 7:38 and counting in the first quarter. Nashua ETV presenting boys D1 lacrosse in New Hampshire here at Mata Field at Stellos Stadium. All right, BG banging it around the perimeter, getting some sort of rhythm. There's Jeremy Warren handling the ball, backing it out, hands over to Brady Dumont, the aforementioned Villanova commit, finding the stick of Jackson Warren. So we got 2 Warrens on the field, wearing #22, #27. Jeremy, a junior. Jackson, just a freshman, had a real pretty goal the other day versus Exeter. And here comes that major windup by Dumont, and that misses the good Jacob Lynn, who's a junior goalkeeper. Very important part of the equation. He's small, but he's very quick, and he plays angles real well. I like the discipline. I'm an old goaltender myself. I played at Georgetown and Fairfield, and all of 5'9", 5'10", depending on which year I was measured. You got to play your angles. Big, tall goaltenders sometimes are able to consume that whole cage. They can keep their heels on the line, and I like to step out just a hair to cut off some angle. All right, banging it down below GLE. GLE is the goal line in the cage, but GLE means goal line extended, so we say it goes all the way to the from sideline to sideline. GLE, and it helps players know, defense and goalies, where the ball is. And that's a good windup by #22. Again, I just mentioned him, Jeremy Warren Jr. out of Hollis, and he gets his first tally of the day. And at 6:04, it makes it BG 5 and South 0. Jeremy Warren, I had the chance to coach him for years at Hollis Brookline Youth. One of the nicest kids you'll ever meet, and he's really getting his chops as he gets into his junior year, getting some time on the field, and doing a good job. I've seen him make some great catches in traffic. All right, now at the dot is Cooper Paquette. He's a freshman and a face-off guy, and he shows that he's got some ball game of his own. BG gets yet another possession. It's been all BG. I don't think there has been a possession for the Panthers outside their own, well, the midfield. You'll see it as the 50-yard line on the football field. All right, good carrying the ball, having a good season is Cam Hayden, one of those sophomore middies that I talked about. Lots of promise for Coach Cameron as he says goodbye to a good, talented class. Very deep, talented class. Has been there forever. A lot of them played New Hampshire Tomahawks purple, including my son Mike, who's a goalie. He split time with Will Murphy on Friday at Exeter. Actually, he started, did a real good job. But these fellas know each other. They've got rhythm. And winding it up with his left. Nice stop out there by Jake Lynn. And doesn't have to be the prettiest thing in the world. Job one is stop the ball. We'll take the other jobs as you get better and better. And scrap for the ball ensues, goes off of Cody Jackson for the Panthers, and it stays white. You could hear the ref possibly down there. And it's 4:47 and counting. 5-0 for the hometown, well, home turf Cardinals. As I said, vis-a-vis the job of semantics. All right, getting it spread way outside of the Cardinals to get going. That opens up space. Here comes Caleb Young, keeping his head up like a good point guard. Finds Carter Jazokis, number 10. He's going down to Wentworth like his brother did and get a chance to play pretty locally and get an excellent education at that fine technical and engineering school. Warren carrying, almost draws a double, nothing doing, fake wind up there. And a big, hard wind up there by Dubois. Another guy, he's made a mark early on. He's a junior midfielder. And I've liked his game. He played real well against Staples. Jazokas elevates above GLE, goal line extended, as we just gave you the dictionary out there. We'll do more and more as we can. You'll hear me say X, that when you get it behind the cage with the ball, we say the ball is at X. That helps players get oriented to the field, especially when you got to play with your back to certain people. And you got to keep one eye on your own man and one eye on the ball. Big eye, little eye, that's an old Bobby Scott reference from. He was a great coach at Johns Hopkins, updated, of course, by Dave Petramala. Big Petro, one of the great coaches of all time. Himself a Hopkins All-American. And his son now plays at UNC. Probably heard his name if you were watching the other day. Oh, and there's a heck of a windup, no doubt about it. That's Liam Connerty. You may know that name, Connerty. His brother, Zach, now at VMI as a goaltender, played for years at wearing number 9. Zach puts on number 44 and shows that he's got some chops as well. All right, and that makes it 6-0, 3:31 in the first quarter. And it's been all Bishop Guertin, kind of expected, but we get out on the field and play the game anyway. This will be a chance for some of the younger guys who aren't getting the reps, haven't gotten in the game, maybe elevate some swing players from either the B team or freshman team and get them into rhythm. You want to make sure that everybody knows your system if you're the head coach. By the time you get some meaningful time, you have the system down, you're all operating on the same sheet of music. And that is one of the main jobs of being a coach. You're kind of the you're the director. You are the conductor. Under 3 minutes and counting here in our first quarter. Carrying the ball there for is Cam Hayden. Just talked about him. Real good player. He's looking for Jazokas, who's well covered there. Broden Landsteiner marking up. Look like, that's Jackson Warren again, number 27. He's a freshman. And now carrying Hudson Schmidt. Also a real good tailback for the BG football team. Terrific athlete. He gets it in, puts it right on the grill of Jacob Lynn, who's able to stay square and tall. And he makes a good save. It bounces out, and carrying it away is Landsteiner, the junior midfielder, number 3. He gets his touch inside the restraining line and gets the ball settled. Big windup by number 18, that's Severin Johnson. I mentioned him. He's going to Tiffin College out in Ohio, which is a D2 school. Congratulations to him. And we get a bouncing ball. The Easter egg hunt is on, and tripped from behind, but it was a loose ball. So at the very least, we're going to get a loose ball push. People jockeying for the ball out there. That was Logan Venn, number 9, giving the push from behind. No flag unless he has possession. Frequently, coaches think they have possession when they don't. All right, carrying the ball there was Braden Tyne, number 24, and chopped out. and he restarts. Ooh. Hudson Schmidt gets after that ball, almost intercepts it, gets to the ground, and ground ball, bouncing ball, not merely a ground ball, ensues. And Hudson Schmidt, great runner, as I just mentioned, running back for the Cardinals football team, and a good athlete out of Bedford. And he gets it calmly downfield, a little bit of a mini punt return, if you will. That's called a clear. They cleared the ball from one end to the offensive end. And nice job tracking the ball. Went wide, though. A good shot there by Cam Hayden. We mentioned him just a bit ago. Sophomore midfielder showing me a lot of promise. And Jeremy Warren starts with it behind and heads toward X, which is dead center behind the cage. And he takes a pick from Hudson Schmidt, gets north. They had a switch on, and now Jeremy Warren draws the short stick. Long stick or defenders and long stick midfielders. Oh, that's a great head fake by Cam Hayden. That's going nowhere but in the back of the net. Nice job by Cam. Gets himself on the board at 41.2 left in the first quarter here, and it is already 7-0 Bishop Guertin Cardinals. All right, back in at the face-off dot. They used to paint an X on it, so you'll hear me mess up once in a while and call it the X, but it's the dot now. And good job picking it up for the Cardinals. Into the game is Hunter Duwani, number 23. Great athlete, sophomore. Again, one more sophomore coach Cameron can look to have next year. And here comes back in the game Jackson Warren, number 27. Slightly built, but like his brothers, I guarantee you he's going to pack it on. All right, Schmidt back into the game, handles, settles, and here comes Duwani to join him. Hunter Duwani, number 23, good athlete, really good athlete, physical, great runner, and has been since day one. I had him in Coach Mack camps at Hollis Brookline several times, and really, in addition to the athleticism, tons of energy. Well, lots of energy put out by the Cardinals, and after one quarter here in Nashua, Mata Field, it is the Bishop Guertin Cardinals wearing white and putting 7 on the board, and Nashua South in purple with 0. They're going to take a 1.5-minute break, and I'll do the same. All right, folks, welcome back to Mata Field at Stellos Stadium. Rich McDonough here for Nashua ETV. After the first quarter, kind of what a lot of people expected, Bishop Guertin over Nashua South, 7-0. We're seeing some fresh faces in the game for Bishop Guertin. You can see that they have an immense bench. And it's usually like that. Cameron's able to draw a lot of talent here, and a good job getting it out and off the dot. And BG goes right back on offense. They probably had time of possession was 9-1, and I think we only had one shot for the Nashua Panthers in that first quarter. That was Severn Johnson. The long pole came all the way from D, went all the way downfield, and launched a 13-yard shot that went wide. Jackson Warren dishes back, but playing the miss nicely. Good job there by Matt Breslin. And a good jump shot. Oh, number 44, Liam Connerty. He got on pipe earlier in the game and gets himself his second goal of the game at 11:24. Playing off that miss, they got it in tight as Connerty elevated from south near the goal line north toward the ball carrier. And as I said, that was a good pickup by Breslin. And then a good feed. And once Connerty got control of the ball, looked it into his cross, he got himself a little bit of space and then got ever more. He's got a big body and then jumped and fired that down and away. Good job changing planes. If you're listening, kids, don't just shoot on a straight line. Don't shoot at the goalie just because you see the goalie. You're not going to pay him back or punish him. Beat him. And that means change planes, go from high to low, off stick if you can. Like I said, I played goalie for many, many years. And, get away from him. All right, handling the ball, settled offense for the first time here for Nashua South. And carrying the ball is a good player. I've been watching his athletic flow, Landsteiner, and he looks pretty good. But this one can't control was Braden Thine. And getting it outside. Oh, playing the miss there was Carter Jazokas, number 10. I had the chance to coach him for several seasons in Tomahawks, that talented 2024 purple team. Great kid. And he's, like I said, off to go to Wentworth and joins his brother there. All right, now carrying the ball for the first time today is Redfern. He gets around topside, gives it up, and then back over. And also in the game now is Austin LaFontaine, number 30. And he gives it up, bangs it over to J.P. Dunsmore. Youngest of the Dunsmore clan that's gone through BG so far, like his brothers, one of whom is at St. Anselm, and the other fella I talked about just a while ago, who's headed to RPI. They're all great runners, great athletes. You can run them all day, no fear. Good short stick defense on the ball carrier, Bresson. And that's Landsteiner again. Boy, he's a good athlete. I like him. Almost able to pick that up was Johnson, but more Cardinals surround the ball than not, but it trickles off the ball, off the stick of Jazokas, and Johnson puts it in play for the Purple Panthers. 9:35 on the clock and counting. Bishop Guertin fades back into a soft 3-3 ride. They like to attack the ball. A little bit of alpha. Great backhanded catch and interception there by Jazokas. Keeps his head up like a good point guard ought to. Give and go there, folks, and then a terrific save by Jacob Lynn in the cage for the Purple Panthers. This one, after the fight goes, and it gets out of bounds, and it's off of the stick of one of the Cardinals there. It looked like it was Redfern, I think it was, and he backs up past the 30-yard line for your football markings and deeper, and BG goes into the 3-3 zone ride. And then attacking the ball, and then up and over, easy clear. You've got numbers when you clear. 6 players on defense, and then add in the goalie, and you got 7 on 6. Unless there's a penalty, of course. And be patient, take a breath, don't panic, and then a good pickoff there if you're Logan Venn, number 9. I mentioned Zach Connerty. Last year he's a VMI goaltender, and he's at VMI now. But now Logan Venn takes over. Goalie change for the Cardinals, Mike McDonough. I might feed him dinner tonight if he does well. And Executive Director Pete Johnson knows him well, and not above a good joke, or even a bad joke. All right, but Mike McDonough will keep him. He's headed to UVA, folks. We're pretty proud of him. He's not playing lacrosse, but he did get a 4-year Air Force scholarship, and he's going to the engineering school at the University of Virginia. Wearing the blue and orange, wahoo. Proud of you, Mike. He's a good kid. And you might know the name. He led the state in passing and touchdowns this year, past season for the Cardinals. All right, playing a little bit of keep away there up at the top. Panthers handle the ball well, but dropping it, putting it down on the carpet. Here comes Hunter Duwani. Watch him take off. Very explosive. A great run by Owen Roy as well. I've seen him, and he can run. Owen Roy is a terrific runner, and he trails down the excellent athlete, Hunter Duwani. All right, now handling is another great athlete, Ronan Balistreri, wearing number 2, all-state wide receiver and defensive back. That one's too tall for Hunter Duwani. It sails over, and Jackson Warren rushes off the field after that high miss, and he gets replaced by a deep hole, and then wearing number 29, and that's Jonas Guerrera. So you get your, he's functioning as the LSM, long stick midfielder right now. So you get 4 long poles to play defense and 2 short sticks. We call them shorties. Frequently these days you have a specialty guy who's probably not as great on the offensive end, but all kinds of talent defensively. And here's Avery Whitehead, another kid I coached for years, getting a look. He's a lefty, gets a shot. He was touring Coast Guard Academy just recently, maybe checking out their program. Great kid, and getting better and better. Every time I see him, it looks like he has been lifting the weights, and he's putting on another 2 or 3 pounds of muscle. He played goalie for us, the HB youth program, when he was in 6th grade or 5th grade, and he was a standout. He's fearless, hockey guy, hockey mentality, but bought into the lacrosse mentality, played goalie in every game. Even though my son's a goalie, my son was also an excellent attackman, and Avery was a standout, and we won the whole shooting match. Went undefeated that year. Love Avery Whitehead. All right, Jackson Warren handles. Mom is a lit professor at Bishop Guertin. Challenging teacher, but they pay off in the long run. Big windup by Duani. Nice rotation over was Jacob Lynn, and a good outlet pass. Good stop, good outlet pass. If you're a goaltender, folks, looking into your bucket, make sure you got it in the cross, in your webbing. No, that's your job one. Look it in, and then square up your hips. Keep your chin up. You got a 4 full count, and then you can find somebody open. If not, just back out of the cage and look to set up, and you got to be the quarterback. All right, here comes Bishop Guertin one more time. 5:40 on the clock. 8-0 on the scoreboard. Rich McDonough in the booth. This one trickles toward the out-of-bounds line, and that was a little too casual. That was Drew Redfern. He probably should have just hopped all over that instead of just backhanding it and taking it for granted. And great hustle by the Panthers defense, and back they come on the ride. Just get to the ball. Do not take it for granted that you think that the guy wearing different color isn't going to chase the ball. He or she will. Count on that, and count on yourself. Go get the ball and set up shop. Good old maximum mind is so obvious, Captain Obvious things. Better we have it than they have it, but you got to make sure you know you have it. All right, 2 Cardinals chasing it down. Get that stick underneath. Get low, folks. You're not going to play it real well shoveling the ball. Get your angles set up and get your stick and your body in a position to get underneath that ball, scoop it up, cradle, and get away to space. You want to curl away from pressure. Know that the defense is going to be trailing you right from behind. And I'll tell you, chasing defenders love straight lines. Change that up and you'll get possession. And again, better we have it than they have it. And that's one way of making sure that you have it. Okay, on possession, carrying the ball behind is Wyatt Solis-Serber. He's a senior attack, wearing number 7. This one he's ushered out of bounds, and that'll be a turnover going to the Cardinals. 4:11 on the clock. 8-0 on the scoreboard. That remains. And it's been all BG, as I said, expected. They're number 1 in the state. Their only losses, folks, are to out-of-state powerhouses. St. John's Prep Danvers, which I think most recently was ranked number 12 in the national poll, beat them 10-7 at Merrimack College. It was tied up 7 after 3, and then St. John's SJP Prep they flexed their muscles in that 4th quarter and pulled away. All right, big head fake there by Cam Hayden. BG's other loss was to out-of-state power Staples out of Westport, Connecticut, the FCIAC, which is a juggernaut conference nationally. And that's about where I played my prep ball, down in Westport, Connecticut. And they always send kids to D1, great coaching tradition. They came up, and in a whale of a game with BG, went out 3-0 over the defending power. And they came in ranked number 1 public school in the country. And it went down to the wire with a 1-goal loss for Bishop Guertin. They had a chance to tie it at the buzzer. Josh Marcus, their All-American goalie, going to UNC, made a great save down low for the Staples Wreckers. Play on, folks. And these games, I've said it on other broadcasts, these games that you play against out of league or out of state competition only make you better as the season wears on. Take on the challenging game early on, learn from it, get a win if you can. Obviously, we're not playing for moral victories here, but get it on, and it does make you better. It'll make you deeper, and certainly for younger players, makes you wiser. You've seen great competition, and now you know what to do. And now you know you athletically can get there and play with these fellas. Obviously, Bishop Guertin is a team to be reckoned with. Finished the season last year ranked 25th in the nation. And again, Mike McDonough makes the first save of the game for the Cardinals, right in his bucket, and gets it out. And off to the races goes not JP, excuse me. Yeah, that was number 21, that's Beau Dubois. BG bangs it around, gets it on offense, gets it deep behind X. Owen King dishes it out. And back into the game is Brady Dumont with that 100-mile-an-hour plus cannon. And that one sails out of bounds at 131. Refs are not stopping the clock, which is unusual. And they didn't blow the whistle. It might be agreement between the two coaches. Not a bad thing. All right, elevating is Caleb Young, and he gets around topside, gets into the hole, gets above and through the island, and finishes it off. That makes it 9-0 at 112. And back to the dot we go. For its part, South, again, as I said, it's 1-7. And they're bottom of the standings. They got the Battle of the Bridge coming up. I don't care who is ranked what, who has how many wins. Battle of the Bridge is special for both sets of fellas and the community. My guess is, and I hadn't looked at the schedule in a couple days, family stuff going on, but we'll have a double header. We got a double header today. Bishop Guertin girls are hosting South in a very important D1 girls game. Bishop Guertin is powerful once again, can contend after getting bounced out of the semis last year. But we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge, so to speak, when we get to it. Sometimes when you have a D1 bound player, you play your senior player. Like Brady Dumont has the ball right now. He backs around, wheels around. He's got his head up. He played a lot of basketball. He's a good distributor, and he gives it up to Hudson Smith. And getting down is Jacob Lynn, and he looks the ball in, gets underneath his cross. But you play your experienced player who's just headed for bigger things with him going to Villanova, and you get to run. You get to platoon with somebody of that caliber, and you learn a lot. Mike McDonough handles the good shot there by Severin Johnson, gets under the ball for his own part, and gets it out to the races, and back go the Cardinals. Hey, good check there by Jacob Hovey. And he gets that one to the dirt, knocking McGarry down. And looking to clear here are the Panthers. You get 20 seconds to get it out past the midline, but you guys can hear the horn in the background. So, in an all-BG kind of lopsided affair, at the end of a first half, it is Bishop Guertin 9, Nashua South 0. They're going to take a 10-minute break by rule, and just by choice, we're going to do the same. Rich McDonough here. I'll be back after the halftime. Enjoy it, everybody. All right, folks, welcome back to Nashua, New Hampshire. Stellos Stadium, Mata Field, got all three in a row. Rich McDonough here for Nashua ETV's presentation of New Hampshire NHIAA D1 lacrosse action. Bishop Guertin, the three-time defending champs, looking for number 13 this year, are ahead 9-0 over the Nashua South Panthers. It was a very lopsided affair. Lots of possession, time of possession for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. Only 2 or 3 shots on goal, which occurred in the second quarter for Nashua South. And Mike McDonough turned away all 3. We got a goalie change for the Cardinals at halftime. And the young fella, Jonah Feliciano, comes on in. He wears number 36 and gets between the pipes. As an old goalie myself, I'm a fan of anybody who gets in the iron. It's a tough position. For his part, on his end of the field, wearing number 2 is Jacob Lynn. He did a good job. He saw a lot of heat coming at him, and he made 3 or 4 really quality saves there. A very good one near the end that I thought was going to get into the cage, and he got that up and down and out. Bishop Guertin has commanding presence year after year at the face-off dot, and into do the honors this time is his counterpart wearing 25. Jason Brindley locking it up against Vasquez, who's going to UMBC. He wins that one, goes to the cage after dishing it off to Dumont, the Villanova-bound senior. Twin brother is number 17, Al Dumont, who's going to Loyola to play for Charlie Toomey down there. Another goal tender and real defensive mastermind in his own right, and he'll like the athleticism and the stick skills that Dumont brings. All right, BG handling the ball early. Looks like a bit of a zone look briefly for Nashua South. And getting around the top and the point, and big wind up there. Cam Hayden, I mentioned his name a couple times, and he gets himself yet another goal. That's his second of the game, and that comes only 44 seconds into the third quarter, and that makes it 10-zip Nashua South. I believe it's still the rule that at the 12-goal margin, the margin in high school ball, and only if it's the second half, it goes to running time. We'll see. That's my recollection. I was certified I should be certified, but as a goalie, but certified as a New Hampshire ref, and that's my recollection. I coached forever. Those rules were changing as I hung up my coaching career. Still give goalie clinics here and there. A lot of fun. This is more fun. I get to work with DJ Pete Johnson. All right, handling the ball once again and spreading it wide. Get out in an open set as you get your specialists in and out. Offensive fellas come in. Here comes Caleb Young again, kid I coached, Tomahawks Purple, and he's going to Stony Brook. Big skip pass and catching it loaded. Again, we just mentioned it was Hayden. That one gets snuffed out and eaten up in the middle, and then they get another shot vis-a-vis Caleb Young, whom we just mentioned. And it's 10:38 and counting. The clock is running. It may be by agreement with the coaches. And unless you're looking to play, somebody who hasn't been on the field much at all this year, it's probably a really wise thing to do. You don't learn a whole lot when you have a lopsided affair like this. You don't learn about it much if you're Bishop Guertin, and you don't learn much if you're wearing purple today. And boy, underneath, good spin move, gets outside, waits for the defender to commit. Nice job there by Owen King. And he gets on his first of the game. He's a good ball handler. Again, I talked about the sophomore class being very talented for Coach Cameron here. 10:07 on the clock. The clock does stop. So we aren't in a formal running time yet. It does stop after the goal. If we are going to do formal running time, again, if they get to 12 and it's a 12-goal lead, it'll be running time for the duration. For a while, it used to be that if you closed the gap a bit more, they'd go back to regular stop time. No more. Once you get that 12-goal margin in the second half, running time occurs. All right, handling the ball here is J.P. Dunsmore. He gives it up, and into the game come the Warren brothers wearing 22 and 27. Jackson handling the ball right now. Nice speed dodge, goes around his defender. Gets snuffed out after the slide comes, and he rotates the action, gives it up to his brother. Hudson Schmidt carrying it, gives it up with his left. He wants his right, but he can get rid of it with his left too. Only a sophomore, he's going to get better and better. Good tuck there by Jeremy Warren, and a bounce shot that goes wide. He drove the near post there, shot the far, goes wide, but that's a good look. Lacrosse is about getting good looks, and he got himself a good look after a nice dodge. Double comes, forces Hudson Schmidt out, a terrific athlete, as I said earlier in the first half. Going to be a real good running back for the Cardinals football team. And we're at 9 minutes and counting, folks. It remains 11-0. We'll see some fresh faces on D. Good save one more time by Lynn. Good junior goaltender. Looks it in, stays under the ball, leaves no doubt by looking it all the way in, getting his head over ball to finish, making sure it's in the strings, and then set up your O. Set up your clear. Handling the ball there is Tyler Benzacari. Putting it on the dirt, though, are the Panthers, and scooping it up is Hudson Schmidt. He's been in for a while. It's a long shift Good athlete, though. Probably can run all day. And big wind-up there by Liam Connerty, who got himself 2 goals in the first half. Thought Schmidt might get a sub, but he stays in the game, and another miss. Good effort, though, by Drew Redfern. Lots of fellas who haven't been on the field much with all these big games, huge monster games. Tough schedule the last couple weeks for BG, and they've played a lot of their first liners. Schmidt gets doubled up there. Nice job by the college-bound, D2-bound Severin Johnson, and gives it up right off after the good takeaway. Can't finish that one off. Do what you can to get it clear, even if you have to go to ugly space. Use the whole 20 seconds. Don't have to go one direction. All right, Jackson Warren carrying, gives it back up to Redfern. And Redfern winds up, and you can hear the iron clank in the distance, and that makes it a 12-goal lead. Clock is stopped, though, for now. We'll get the formal declaration if they're going to go that direction. Redfern, showing he's got those chops there. Good job. And back to the face-off dot we go. And this time coming out with it one more time is Cooper Paquette. He's a freshman and very powerfully built athlete. You got Hunter Duani on the near side wing. To his left there is Landsteiner, the talented junior for Nashua South. And we are in running time. It is 7:20 and counting with that 12-goal spread. All right, and Paquette able to win that one, gives it up, and carrying it deep is Duani. He's a good, fast runner, hard runner, gifted athlete, and he's going to do good things for Coach Cameron. Into the game come Matt Breslin and Ronan Balistreri, excellent receiver and all-state defensive back for the Cardinals football team. Terrific athlete and just an all-around great kid. All right, pulling it way out. No hurry to do any damage here. Let younger players run the offense, get into some sort of rhythm. Lots of touches, lots of handles. You're going to get pressure. And there inside is Severin Johnson, the Tiffin College commit. They can't get it out one more time. BG is very, very aggressive if you get the takeaway. They will surround you in a hurry, get the ball to the dirt, chop, squeeze, you name it, and do everything they can to keep you from breathing. And hey, Ronan Balistreri, big wind-up with his righty. He gets himself a goal at the 6:10 mark. Good job, good job for Balistreri. Listed as mostly a short stick defender, but with that kind of athleticism, you can make it work on the offensive end as well. All right, 13-0 Cardinals, 5:50 and counting with our running clock, as we just mentioned. And back to the dot goes Cooper Paquette for the Cardinals. And knocking out there is Raiden Chow, good sophomore, reliable player for Coach Will Delanoy. Cardinals get the possession again. And they get their specialists in, get their next line of players in. Coming in for is Austin LaFontaine. He got one roll in the first half. But this one sails wide and long. Carter Jazokis just stares at the ball. That won't bring it back. And as we wind down to 5 minutes, it's a turnover for the Cardinals. And Johnson gets it out and up, unable to handle that pass. As a good pass was Benzekri. But they keep possession. Almost a ward there, no call. And a big wind-up there for that's Owen Roy. He's a sophomore attackman wearing number 16. That was a good hot shot. And Jonah Feliciano, the goalkeeper, watches that one sail wide, probably crossing himself a bit. Oh, good ride there. Good ride by Sola Serber. Gets it possession, gets it around. And a nice poke there by Logan Venn. Gets it to the carpet, and a good takeaway there. And now you use your goalie as your first outlet there if you get pressure on that ride. Instant ride, instant pass, folks. And Guerrero, the nice pass. Feliciano, I said Guerrero, excuse me. Guerrero's the other guy. Yeah, Feliciano in cage at sophomore for the Cardinals. Strong athlete. I saw him working with Brian Cameron, who's an All-American at Bishop Guertin, son of the coach. Coaches at Holy Cross, and he played for North Carolina and then Rutgers. Had a great career. Big pass, nice catch, loaded, able to get onto 1 foot and get up is Carter Jazokis. It's a good pass and a good handle. He caught it loaded, then started jumping, and that'll make it at 3:24 remaining in the third quarter. We got a timeout on the field and 13-0 on the scoreboard. I think it's 14. Haven't seen that goal go up yet. All right, they're taking a 1-minute break. I'm going to do the same, and we'll see you in just a few seconds after this break. Rich McDonough here for Nashua ETV. And welcome back, everybody, after a timeout break. 3:19 on the field, 14-0 on the scoreboard for Bishop Guertin. They're hosting, quote-unquote, the Nashua South Panthers. Rich McDonough here for Nashua ETV's presentation of NHIAA Division I Boys Lacrosse. And the 3-time defending champs wearing white are doing what they were supposed to do, which was hold serve in a game where they were highly favored. And they've gotten some younger guys, some looks on the field, and some rotation, and that's always a good thing. Nashua South doing whatever it can to play lacrosse. Sometimes you just do it, you get on the field, and you learn from what you're seeing. One key for them that I've seen, and I've mentioned it several times, is Jacob Lynn, their junior goalkeeper for the Panthers. He looks fearless, and he's very quick. He gets under the shots very well, and I got to give him a lot of credit as a former goalie myself. All right, we're in running time, folks. We discussed it in the last quarter. If you get a 12-goal lead in the second half in high school ball in states where they go with that, it's pretty much a National Federation of High School Sports rule. It goes to running time, and it doesn't go back. All right, little weave out top for the Delanoy-coached Panthers. Carrying the ball, knocking it down the alley, unable to handle it down there is 24 Braden Thine. We've mentioned him a few times, sophomore attackman. That one was a little bit too tall for the young man, and it sails out, and at 2:25 and counting. The third goalie of the day, we talked about him just a few minutes ago, Jonah Feliciano, sophomore goalie. Will Murphy started. Mike McDonough cleaned up in the second quarter and had the only 2 saves or 3 saves of the game so far. And it remains 14-0. Back on offense go the Cardinals. Spread way, way outside. And elevating above GLE and trying to get to his right hand with a jump shot there was Brady Donahue, a sophomore attackman wearing number 33. Tries to give it up, and this one's just too tall on this end, and it goes sailing over the head of Austin LaFontaine and out of bounds. And purple ball, as the refs will say. Carrying down is Tyler Benzekri. Good defenseman. Tries to feed inside. Good trail check, and by Ronan Balistreri, gifted athlete. We expect that out of him. Don't stop running. All right, handling the ball there is Braden again. He gives it up. Carrying the ball now is Grant Imbault. He's a new face to the Panthers and a key. Defensive-minded guy, but we'll see what he can do on this end. Wearing number 15. And well-coached teams, I can hear it from the booth even with the windows half open. It's starting to bake here. I call Stellos Stadium booth the microwave because when it gets sunny, it's right at us and it heats up. But great communication even from your third and fourth lines of players for Coach Cameron's teams. And if nothing else is happening, that you love. Okay, stepping over the line and going off sides as the chase was on for the loose ball was Benzekri, and that'll mean automatic possession for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals. Looking out for The guys wearing purple, they're next. They're at Nashua North. That'll be here, of course, who's 1-6 at this point. That'll be your battle of the bridge. And as I said earlier, it's always exciting. I don't care what sport it is. I've called numerous games in every sport imaginable. And, boy, it's just a blast. And that's the end of the third quarter. And we'll get to that stuff when we get back. We're going to take one more break and see if we can cool it down 5 degrees before our second of our double headers. Rich McDonough here for Nashua ETV. All right, welcome back from our third quarter break, ladies and gentlemen. Nashua ETV proudly presents NHIAA sports of all kinds. Today it's Division I boys lacrosse here at Stellos Stadium in Nashua, New Hampshire. I'm Rich McDonough on the call. Missing my wingman, Tom King, who is on assignment, and he will join us for Game 2 of our doubleheader today as Bishop Guertin girls host the South Panthers, quote unquote. Again, they both share this field for home games, and both teams are well touted. Bishop Guertin is kind of finding his rhythm. The girls are, that is, and doing a great job. But Kiki McIntyre for the South Panthers. Both teams were in the D1 semis last year and got bounced. And they'll look to load it up and get busy tonight. Should be a real good game. Here we have a 14-0 BG lead over the Nashua South boys, and we've gone into running time. That one gets away from Ronan Balistreri's stick and duffs into the turf and squirts out of bounds on the far side. Ronan knows this field very, very well, having played a couple years of varsity football here, and all-state caliber athlete and all-state awarded athlete, one of my favorite young people. All right, but here comes Ben Zekri handling the ball with that long pole. He rolls away from Balistreri and gets away, but there's the athlete, gets right onto his backside and gives him a chuck. But good handle there. Good job by the Panthers. It goes to the dirt, but smartly getting away from pressure was Braden Tyne. Talked about him a number of times here. I see some good things out of that young man. But now handling the ball is a good stalwart. Broden Landsteiner, one of my keys to the game. You want to get these guys some action, even though they're way down in the scoreboard. Learn how to handle the ball with each other. You know, a lot of guys are new to each other. You had a lot of graduates in the last couple years. And even though you're facing this high-powered team in Bishop Guertin, do your best. Do your best to get some rhythm and understand how your passing mechanics work with the fella next to you. Learn how to roll back against great athletes, take pressure and bounce it out and keep the ball. Look it in. Always want to look it in. Good to have scientific knowledge there. You want to look it into your strings, know you have it. Eventually, after your 40,000 reps, it'll be there. But I tell you, if you look at stock pictures of Jerry Rice and Rod Carew in baseball, they always had bug eyes on the ball. You know, you look at, I mean, the Bolitnikoff Award is from Fred Bolitnikoff. I'm dating myself here, but stop action photos, he was looking at the ball like it was the most important thing in the universe. So just look it in, get the job done. But holding the ball right now and carrying it north of the 50, north of the midfield line, was Jonah Feliciano. He made himself his first save as a varsity member in Bishop Guertin. 9 minutes coming up on the field. We are in running time, so it'll go quickly here. The only time you'll be stopping the clock is if there is a timeout, a penalty call, or an injury, God forbid. All right, that one's a little too low pass by Warren, and it trickles into the crease. That's the circular area around the cage, frequently called the circle in women's and girls ball, or the crease. Pretty much 100% the crease in men's lacrosse and boys lacrosse. Good job knocking the ball out of bounds by Hunter Duani, number 23. Good ride. And we call that the ride. If you're just tuning in or don't know, the ride is when the other team is trying to get the ball from its defensive zone into the offensive zone across midfield. And we call it a ride when you basically play defense against that clearing effort. And it's one of the real important parts of the game. Great teams take great pride in ferocious rides where they can trap you, press you, or lay back and wait and set up interception opportunities or make you use all the time on the clock. Much like basketball has a 10-second requirement to get the ball over half court, lacrosse has a 20-second requirement. And at the high school level, once you get it over midfield, you got 10 more seconds to touch it into the offensive third. No longer the case in college. All right, handling the ball out top is Matt Bresson, a junior midfielder. Nice save. There he is again. Lynn, diminutively built goalkeeper, but quick and fearless. And he got down to the turf in a hurry. It doesn't matter how you save it, folks. Get ugly, get gnarly, but get the ball. And then start trying to do that clear we just discussed. That one sails high and long, and back on offense go the Cardinals. Carrying it down into is J.P. Dunsmore of the Dunsmore crew. Can't imagine dinner table with all those athletes fighting for the food there at the Dunsmore house. All right, Duane gets the ball, bangs it down. And Bishop Guertin, of course, in no hurry to do this. Young fellas are out there. They're getting some reps. And as I discussed about Nashua, doing what it can to figure each other out, get some reps with one another, understand each other's skills, tendencies, weaknesses are important. You got to know each other. These younger guys for BG are going to do the same thing. Setting up a dodge there. Good job. Nice defense. Good footwork on defense by Convery, junior defender. Pushes his man outside. Nice job. Brady Donahue took a look, and Convery's a very physically powerful athlete. Didn't want any part of that. I guess that's wisdom. You gain wisdom, too. Nice double. They get the squeeze. We were playing the rollback a bit, and they got that done, and they got the switch. Carrying the ball behind at X is Liam Connerty. Again, he circles back, gets above GLE, goal line extended. Chatted about that in the first half. Doesn't mean a whole lot timing-wise, but it helps the players communicate. Your ball carrier, he just got to GLE. GLE's coming. And defense will play back to the goalie, and a goalie will talk that out. Nice job there getting the ball to the carpet and carrying down is Owen Roy. We talked about him just a little while ago. Gets it into the cross of Cody Jackson. He backs it out away from trouble. Giving him some good pressure there is Elijah Zeman. Father's a ref in New Hampshire and a real good guy. Teacher at BG as well. Hunter Duane giving the great short stick defense. Lunges a little. Don't want to lunge, kids. Keep your center of gravity. If you lunge and you're and the ball carrier is in an attacking position, that wasn't the case there because he was so far out from the crease. Good way to fight through a couple of checks was Owen Roy there. But don't lunge. Keep him in front of you. Better there he is than there he goes. Oh, nice feed, nice look. It was a little too tight on the pipe there. And good job by the young Feliciano and Cage staying on the pipe, giving him nothing to shoot at. And it rolls out of bounds off purple, so we go white. And here comes the clearing attempt for LaFontaine. He goes middle and runs by every rider for the Panthers. Gets it into his right and bangs it over to Jackson Warren, who handles the high pass. And we're under 4 minutes now, 14 zip. Bishop Guertin, and you would normally say counting, but really at this point not counting. They're just getting some possessions, probably running some ghost plays. Don't want to pull the brakes on completely because you want to let these fellas learn the offense and learn how to feed and catch in traffic. That one does go sailing wide, and Kraus can't get a handle on that, number 48, and it does go out of bounds. That'll be a turnover with the clock ticking at 3:25. Panthers get their chance to clear one more time. Lynn, that one kind of got away from his stick, but it still got all the way down the field. Beautiful 50-yard pass. And then probably jamming it into too much traffic there. Yeah, upset with himself has been Zachary. Watch that film, realize what's available to you. And again, as I just said about 2 minutes ago, better we have it than they have it. Protect the ball. And Owen Duani runs the ball down the alley, gets to GLE and bangs it across behind the cage. And it was just kind of a casual pass that got away from the stick. Brady Donahue and out. And Lynn will get a chance to clear it one more time. He calls for the ball. It's going over. Gets it into the crease. Was Convery. And Lynn carrying up the field. Back to Convery we go. And that one gets away from Convery. He can't keep his eyes on the ball. Might have lost it behind the ref. That's what refs are for, right? Just talked to Baltimore Ravens. Anyway, back on offense go the Cardinals. Not looking to do anything here but chew some clock. That's my old call from the sidelines, coaching for around 30 years, was just chew. Chew the clock. All right, carrying the ball down toward Ella is Redfern. He gets it into X. That's that area right behind the goal is X. Low pass, can't handle it, and it trickles out beyond the midfield line and kicked off somebody's cleat there. I think it went off of the cleat of Ryan Schnelger. Yep, it did, and it's Panther ball, and we're at 1:30 with that running clock disappearing on us rapidly. All right, good rollback there by Landsteiner. Nothing doing. BG's able to recover. They gave up the top side, but then recovered and hit the reset switch themselves. Good communication in there. I can hear it from up here, mile away in the booth. And there's the rollback again, trying them one more time. And nice job looking it in by Feliciano, showing that he can track the ball as well. Good job. Trying to get it up. Well, I'll work on those passes. Couldn't handle that ball was Gabe Sini. And we are winding rapidly toward the 30-second mark with that running clock. One more possession here. Maybe get on the get on the scoreboard here if you're the Panthers. And it looked like they were offsides. So that's a turnover, 18, 17, 16, 15. And back on the clear are the Cardinals. Well, again, next up for BG, they've got another crazy week. They got this game, and then they're going to have a rematch with the very high-octane Exeter Blue Hawks. They beat them on Friday. And what do you get for that? You get to do it again, and it'll be here this week, Thursday, and then Londonderry. And a tough week for the Cardinals. But again, 14-0 is our final score. Bishop Guertin takes care of business as it was supposed to. Nashua South. Living to fight another day, and they're going to learn a lot. And as a former coach, mentor, that's what you want to do. It's tough sometimes. All right, Bishop Guertin Cardinals 14, Nashua South Panthers 0. For DJ PDP Johnson, our executive director, Tim O'Neill here. This is Rich McDonough. It has been a real pleasure. Look forward to seeing you. We got game 2 of our doubleheader coming up at 6 o'clock, allegedly, Bishop Guertin, and locking it up with South in a very meaningful D1 girls game. Thanks for joining us, everybody.